Children, in this session we are going to learn about seas, bays and gulfs. Children, open page 28 in your textbook to learn where are the world's major seas, gulfs and bays are located. Let's begin our mapping skills. Now let's go to North America, children. One is Bering Sea, and we have learned Bering Strait also, which separate Arctic Ocean and Pacific Ocean. 2. Hudson Bay. 3. Labrador Sea. 4. Gulf of Mexico. 5. Caribbean Sea. Children, look at Europe map there, children. 6, you have Bay of Biscay. 7, the Mediterranean Sea. 8, Black Sea. 9, Caspian Sea. Moving on to Africa, you have number 10, Red Sea. 11, Bight of Benin. Moving on to Asia, children, you have 12, Persian Gulf. 13, Arabian Sea. 14, Bay of Bengal. 15, South China Sea. 16, Kara Sea. Moving on to Australia, children, 17, we have Great Australian Bight. 18 is the Tasman Sea. Children, now let's start learning about seas and their types. By this time, I think you have already got an idea what is a sea is, but I would like to define it. Seas are large water bodies of salt water which are a part of an ocean. They are smaller in size than an ocean and are generally attached to a continent. Children, seas can be further subgrouped into open, partly enclosed and completely landlocked. Let us see what are they. Observe the map, children. You can see Arabian Sea, and we can group this sea into an open type sea where the sea is completely open into the main ocean, that is the Indian Ocean. Observe the map, children. You can see the Mediterranean Sea. It is partly enclosed by land masses and cut off from the main ocean, that is Atlantic Ocean. This is a good example for partly enclosed sea. Observe the maps, children. You can see the Caspian Sea and the Dead Sea. These can be grouped under completely landlocked seas because they are completely surrounded by land on all the sides. Marginal seas. Seas which are a part of open oceans are called marginal seas. We have discussed earlier that Arabian Sea is a marginal sea of Indian Ocean. Such seas are shallower in the sense not deep than the open oceans. Look at the table, children. It shows the distribution of marginal seas in different oceans. Let us see from Pacific Ocean. Bering Sea, Gulf of California, Philippine Sea, South China Sea, Tasman Sea. Moving on to the next ocean, Atlantic Ocean, Caribbean Sea, North Sea, Gulf of Mexico, Mediterranean Sea, Labrador Sea. Moving on to Indian Ocean, you have Arabian Sea, Red Sea, Bay of Bengal, Persian Gulf, Gulf of Oman. Moving on to Arctic Ocean, we have the Barents Sea, Kara Sea, Laptev Sea, East Siberian Sea, Beaufort Sea. Moving on to Southern Ocean, you have the Ross Sea, Weddell Sea, Amundsen Sea. Children, locate all these marginal seas in World Physical Map from your atlas. Inland seas, large bodies of salt water or fresh water which are entirely landlocked are called inland seas. The Black Sea, the Caspian Sea, the Dead Sea and the Aral Sea are some of the examples of inland seas. Some of the inland seas are also called lakes. Good example is Aral Sea. Aral Sea is a freshwater lake. The Dead Sea is the world's saltiest water body, children. It got its name because of its high salinity prevents organisms such as fish and aquatic plants from living in it. Children, we don't even sink but float in the Dead Sea because of its high salinity. The Caspian Sea is the largest saltwater lake in the world, children. Black Sea is named by the ancient Greeks, children. They called it as inhospitable sea. The meaning of inhospitable is not providing good conditions for living or growing. Children, you all know Red Sea, but Red Sea is not an inland sea, children. It is a marginal sea. But let us know how it got its name. Because of a type of algae. When blooms of algae die off, they appear to turn the blue-green color of the water to reddish brown. This is how it got its name. Let's learn about fjords, children. Fjords are the end parts of the glacier valleys which are deep near the seas and filled with seawater. They are mostly found in Norway, Chile, New Zealand, Canada, Greenland, and the United States of Alaska, children. Observe the pictures, children, to understand how the fjords look like. Now let's learn about sound, children. A sound is an inlet of seawater like a fjord. Remember, children, it is also like a fjord, but wider than a fjord. What is a cove, children? A cove is a small type of bay, children, or a coastal inlet. Coves usually have narrow, restricted entrances and are often circular or oval in shape, and they are situated within a large bay. Let's see what is a lagoon, children. A lagoon is a small body of water separated from the ocean or from large bodies of water by a reef or other barrier. Observe the picture, children. A headland is a narrow piece of land projected into the sea from a cliff. A sea cave is a type of cave formed due to the erosion caused by the sea waves, children. A natural bridge is a leftover part of a headland or a stack with an opening formed due to the erosion caused by the sea waves. Let us see, children, what is a stack. A stack is a steep vertical column of rock in the sea, often got cut off from a headland. Now let's see what is a sandbar, children. A sandbar is a long and narrow strip of sand deposited parallel to the sea coast. Some are extended to several miles, children. Bays are curved indentations of a sea jutting into the land, children. Usually bays have wide openings. The Hudson Bay in North America, the Bay of Biscay in Europe, and Bay of Bengal in India are some of the examples of bays, children. Now let's see what is a bight, children. A bight is a large bay. It is more open. It is a big curve in the coastal line. Example, the Great Australian Bight in Australia and Bight of Benin in Africa. Observe the picture, children. You can see the coastal line is in a curve shape. So it is a bight. Now let's see gulfs, children. Gulfs are large inlets of an ocean or a sea, children. They are highly indented, more enclosed by the coast and large in size than bays. The Persian Gulf in Asia and the Gulf of Mexico in North America are some examples of gulfs, children. Watch this video, children, to understand more clearly about the water bodies.
The planet is about 70% water, and Australians should know that better than most. But there are some interesting rules for how bodies of water are named. Why is this called an ocean and this a sea? What makes this a gulf and this a bay? We'll start big. Oceans are large bodies of salt water which surround continents. Australia is in between the Pacific, Indian and Southern Ocean. Oceans are generally divided between continents, but technically it's one big body of water, sometimes referred to as the world ocean. Seas are large bodies of salt water connected to the ocean, but they're also partly surrounded by land, like the Tasman or Coral Sea. At the top end of Australia, you'll find a gulf, a large body of water enclosed by land on three sides, with a relatively narrow opening. Down the other end, you'll find the Great Australian Bight. A bight is an inward bend in a coastline or a river, less of a deep indentation than a gulf. And right next to this bight is a strait, a narrow passage of water connecting two large bodies of water. Bass Strait separates Tassie and Victoria. Torres Strait Islanders are from, you guessed it, the Torres Strait. Let's swing by Sydney. Here you'll find heaps of bays. They're like the smaller siblings of gulfs, but with a wide mouth. And small bays are called coves. They're often sheltered between rocky headlands.